Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into something I think we all need and crave, and that's friendship.
Oh, absolutely.
We're taking a cue from a kind of unusual source,
Okay.
an episode of an IELTS prep podcast. You
Interesting.
know those podcasts that help people practice for the English language exam?
Right.
Who knew an English test could have so much to say about something as universal as friendship?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get ready for some really practical wisdom and some surprisingly deep insights.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive in.
Okay, so in this IELTS podcast, we meet our hosts, Leo and Gwen,
Okay.
and they're using role-playing to demonstrate different exam tasks.
I see.
And they tackle this age-old question, why are friends so vital? Gwen highlights the emotional support friends provide,
Okay.
calling them a second family.
Interesting.
She stresses their importance for happiness and mental health,
Yeah.
saying they're there to offer encouragement advice
Mm.
and help you relax and stay positive.
It's fascinating how even in a setting focused on language skills, those core elements of human connection shine through.
Right.
It's like the human need for connection transcends any specific task or context.
Absolutely.
We're social creatures by nature.
Yeah. And it's interesting that she uses that phrase, second family, because research actually shows that support from friends benefits us differently than family support.
That's true.
Family often provides that sense of obligation and history,
Right.
whereas friendships are chosen
Mm-hmm.
based on shared values and interests.
And that choice, that element of choosing who we surround ourselves with, can make friends uniquely positioned to offer a non-judgmental space for us to, process our emotions and experiences.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
It's like your family loves you unconditionally, but friends choose to be there for you, which adds another layer of validation and support.
It does. It really does.
It's a powerful thing.
And it's not just about feeling good either.
Right.
Leo, the other host, emphasizes how much he enjoys group activities with friends. He talks about the fun laughter and shared experiences that energize him.
I think this speaks to the diversity of needs that friendships fulfill.
Okay.
Some people, like Gwen, really thrive on those deep one-on-one connections where they can truly open up and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Others, like Leo, find their energy and sense of belonging in larger groups,
Right.
where the focus is more on shared activities and maybe lighter interactions.
So there's no like one-size-fits-all model for friendship.
Exactly. It's about finding what works best for you.
I actually hadn't thought of it that way before. It makes perfect sense.
It does.
It explains why some people have a few very close friends, while others have a wide circle of acquaintances.
Exactly. And understanding your own social preferences can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
Do you crave deep, intimate conversations? Or do you get more energized by the buzz of a big group?
Yeah.
Reflecting on this can help you nurture the types of friendships that best suit your personality and emotional needs.
I love that idea.
It's about self-awareness.
Yeah. It's almost like figuring out your friendship style.
I like that friendship style.
Okay, so now let's get into something that really resonated with me.
Okay.
Gwen and Leo talk about making time for friends, which we all know can be a struggle.
Oh, absolutely.
Leo's a big advocate for regular meetups.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a quick coffee or chat.
To maintain those connections.
To maintain those connections, exactly.
And while I agree that consistency is key, I think it's crucial to consider the quality of those interactions too.
Oh,
Just being physically present with someone doesn't necessarily equate to a meaningful connection.
right.
It's about being fully present, engaging in genuine conversations, and actively listening to each other.
That's such a good point. It's so easy to fall into the trap of scheduling hangouts just to check off the socializing box.
Yes.
But if we're not truly present and engaged,
Yeah.
are we really nurturing the friendship?
It's a good question to ask ourselves.
I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes.
I think we all are to some extent. In a world that's constantly vying for our attention, being truly present with our friends can be a challenge.
For sure.
But it's a challenge worth embracing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like we need to be mindful about creating space for that quality time with our friends, not just squeezing them into our already packed schedules.
Right. It's about prioritizing those connections.
Exactly. And speaking of quality time,
Yeah.
Gwen brings up a really interesting point about how prioritizing friendships actually benefits our emotional well-being.
That's so true.
Like, it's good for us
It is.
to hang out with our friends.
It's essential, actually.
Okay, so it's not just fun.
No.
It's like actually good for our mental health.
I think that's an important reminder in our fast-paced world,
Yeah.
We often prioritize work, family obligations, even self-care.
Mm-hmm.
But friendships sometimes get pushed to the back burner.
It's so easy to tell ourselves, oh, I'll catch up with them later, but
Right.
later never seems to come.
And research actually shows that strong friendships can act as a buffer against stress and even contribute to longevity.
Really? So like living longer.
It's not just about having fun, it's about investing in our health and happiness.
So basically hanging out with friends is a form of self-care.
I love that perspective.
I like the sound of that.
It's true.
But seriously, it makes you realize how crucial those connections are for our overall well-being.
Absolutely.
Now, remember how Gwen and Leo had different preferences when it came to the number of friends?
Yeah.
Gwen loved that deep connection of one close friend, while Leo thrived in group settings.
Right, right. It's a classic debate.
It is.
The power of one versus the joy of many.
Yeah.
And the truth is, there's no right or wrong answer.
It makes me think of those personality tests that categorize people as introverts or extroverts.
That's interesting.
Maybe introverts are more drawn to those intense one-on-one connections,
Me too.
while extroverts get their energy from being around a lot of people.
There could be a correlation there.
Yeah.
Introverts often find large groups draining, while extroverts thrive in those social settings. But it's not just about personality types. If different life stages and circumstances can also influence our social preferences.
Oh, that's interesting.
For example, a new parent might cherish the support of a close friend who's also navigating parenthood,
Yeah.
while a young adult starting a new job might seek out a wider network of colleagues and acquaintances.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's not static,
Right.
It evolves as we do.
It changes.
Yeah. And I guess each type of friendship offers different benefits, right?
I would think so.
Absolutely. Having that one close confidant, someone you can truly be yourself with, can provide a sense of deep security and understanding. It's like having a safe haven where you can process emotions, share secrets, and receive unconditional support.
Oh, I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
There's something so comforting about knowing you have someone who truly gets you no matter what.
But on the other hand, having a larger group of friends can expose you to diverse perspectives, expand your social horizons, and create a sense of belonging to a community.
It's like having a built-in adventure crew.
Exactly.
Always someone down to try new things, explore different hobbies, or just have a good laugh.
Exactly. And it can be so enriching to have those different perspectives and experiences in your life.
So maybe it's not about choosing one or the other, but rather finding a balance that works for you.
I think that's the key takeaway here.
Right.
It's about cultivating a diverse friendship ecosystem
Okay, I'm officially adding friendship ecosystem to my vocabulary.
where you have a mix of those deep, intimate connections and those lighter, more social bonds.
I love it.
It's about having a balance.
So we need close friends and we need, acquaintances and people to go do fun things with.
Exactly.
Okay. And remember how we were talking about the importance of quality time?
Yes.
Well, Gwen and Leo actually touched on that in a surprising way.
How so?
They were discussing the importance of communication, but not just any kind of communication.
Interesting.
You mean like those communication tips they gave like within the context of the English exam?
Yes, and it's fascinating how those tips actually translate beautifully to real-life friendships.
That's cool.
They emphasize the importance of structure, vocabulary, and fluency in communication.
I remember they talked about being clear and organized when expressing your thoughts.
Right.
Just like you would in the IELTS speaking test.
Exact.
Answer the question directly,
Yeah.
explain your reasoning, and provide a relevant example.
It sounds a bit formal for casual conversations,
It does.
but the underlying principle is valuable.
Okay.
It's about being mindful of how you communicate,
Yeah.
ensuring your message is clear and easy to understand.
So it's not just about what you say,
Right.
but how you say it.
Precisely. And that's where vocabulary comes in.
Okay.
They encouraged using expressive language to convey feelings more precisely.
So like choosing the right words.
It's about choosing words that truly capture the nuances of your emotions and experiences.
I could see how that would be crucial in friendships.
Oh,
If you're trying to explain something complex or share a deeply personal feeling,
yes.
using vague or generic language just won't cut it.
It falls short,
Yeah.
right? It's about moving beyond I'm happy or I'm sad and digging deeper to find words that truly reflect the depth and complexity of your emotions.
It's like painting a picture with your words.
I love that analogy.
So the other person can really see and understand what you're trying to convey.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's about being articulate.
Yeah.
And finally, they talked about fluency,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of speaking naturally and confidently without getting too hung up on perfection.
That's something I struggle with sometimes.
See?
I tend to overthink things and worry about saying the right thing which can make me sound stiff and unnatural.
But in friendships, it's more about connection than perfection.
Okay.
It's about being present, being authentic, and letting your true self shine through.
So it's okay to stumble over words or ramble a bit, as
Absolutely.
long as you're being genuine and engaging.
In fact, I'd argue that those imperfections are what make us human and relatable.
Yeah.
It's about creating a space where you can be comfortable expressing yourself without fear of judgment.
Which makes me think about something else Gwen said.
Okay.
She talked about how friends are there to offer encouragement and advice when you need it most.
That's an interesting point because it highlights another important aspect of communication in friendships, knowing when to offer advice and when to simply listen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have a tendency to jump into problem-solving mode
Mm-hmm.
when a friend is sharing something difficult.
Right.
But maybe what they really need is just a listening ear.
Exactly. And being a good listener is just as important as being a good communicator.
Okay.
It's about being present, paying attention, and letting your friend know that they are heard and understood.
It's like that saying, a friend is someone who knows the song in your heart and can sing it back to you when you've forgotten the words.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right. And sometimes just having someone who truly listens can be more valuable than any advice they could give.
I think so too.
It's like they're holding space for you to process your emotions and figure things out on your own.
It reminds me of a study I read about the neurological effects of being listened to.
Oh, really?
Apparently, when someone actively listens to us, it triggers the release of endorphins in our brains, which can reduce stress and promote feelings of well-being.
Wow. So there's actually science behind that feeling of relief and validation we get when we feel truly heard.
It seems so.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
It makes you realize that listening isn't just a passive act.
right.
It's an incredibly powerful way to support and connect with someone.
And in the context of friendships, that kind of active listening can be a game changer.
Yeah.
It strengthens the bond, builds trust, and creates a safe space for vulnerability and authenticity.
Which brings us back to the core of why friendships are so important.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered a lot of ground today. From the emotional support, to the shared experiences, to the communication tips.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. And I think what strikes me most is that friendships are so multifaceted.
Yeah.
They serve so many purposes in our lives,
Right.
from boosting our well-being to expanding our perspectives to simply bringing joy and laughter into our days.
It's like they're a vital ingredient in the recipe for a happy and fulfilling life.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that friendships are constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
They change as we change, adapt to our circumstances, and grow alongside us.
So it's not a one-and-done deal.
No.
It's an ongoing process of nurturing and investing in those connections.
Exactly. And even small gestures can make a big difference.
Like what?
A simple phone call, a handwritten note, or an impromptu coffee date can go a long way in showing your friends you care.
Yeah, it's about making those conscious efforts to stay connected even when life gets busy.
It is.
And remember, it's never too late to make new friends or reconnect with old ones.
So true.
We can always, reach out.
That's such a powerful message.
Yeah.
We often think of friendships as something that happens organically.
Yeah.
But the truth is they require effort and intentionality, especially as we get older.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
That's something to be mindful of.
So I guess the takeaway here is that friendships are precious
They are.
and they're worth the effort.
Absolutely. And to echo that IELTS podcast, even the simplest sources can offer profound insights.
They can.
Who knew an English language exam prep episode could spark such a deep dive into the complexities of friendship?
It just goes to show that wisdom can be found in the most unexpected places.
It really does.
And as always, the journey of understanding ourselves and our relationships is an ongoing adventure.
Well said. So until next time, keep exploring those connections, keep nurturing those friendships, and keep diving deep into the mysteries of the human experience.
And remember, a good friend is like a good book, a source of joy, comfort, and endless inspiration.